Won't You Be My Neighbor is a documentary about Fred Rodgers, who was a famous person on TV. Started in the 50s, and he was actually doing a lot of stuff, even up until his death, and I think it was the year 2003. And this documentary is about his life and how he was basically all about acceptance, the belief that kids are important, and that, they too, when it comes to television, they too should have an audience. They should be able to have stuff spoken to them in a certain way. They are special, just like you and me. And, this film, I had obviously heard about stuff about this film. Fred Rodgers, as someone that has studied film and has studied TV, I don't know why I didn't really know much about Fred Rodgers. I'll be honest, I don't know why. Because watching this documentary, I was like, well, wow, why did I not know about this guy? He did a lot for television. Watching this documentary and seeing what the show is about, the show itself, I know wouldn't be my forte. With that said, though, I can still appreciate the fact that this show did touch a lot of people's lives, and more importantly, he talked about a lot of issues that were delicate then and are still kind of delicate in some aspects, and yet he was able to do it in a certain way that didn't really get people angry, and that is admirable. This film is interesting, and that's, I think, the most important thing a documentary can do, is be interesting, be insightful, make you learn some stuff. And I learned a lot about Fred Rodgers in this film. I have to say I also really like the messages, as I mentioned, acceptance, like that's a big message of this film. But it's not spoon-fed. It feels like it's earned, and it's important in today's day and age to have that message, especially not sugar-coated. It tells it how it is. It's like, look, Fred Rodgers, this guy who, you always hear people say, well, like this generation is like, not about acceptance, in the 20th century. It's like, well, you look at someone like Fred Rodgers, he was from the 20th century, and he was all about acceptance. So it's nice and insightful to see someone such as Fred Rodgers, and him having a documentary now is just great. In terms of negatives, I don't mean to be nitpicky, but I have to say that I think as insightful and as interesting as this film is, I do think that towards the end it just kind of, it didn't wane its interest level. It's just that I wasn't as engaged in the last act. And as a whole, as much as I appreciate this film, I just can't really see this being a documentary that I'll rewatch. Then again, I know that this film wasn't a film that, is supposed to be rewatchable. It's just a film that's supposed to give you a message, show you this man's life, and move on, and hopefully take some stuff home. And because of that, I think this movie did a good job, and I think you definitely should see Won't You Be My Neighbor. Won't You Be My Neighbor gets a 4.25 out of 5-star rating. Definitely check it out. It's still in theaters. And if you have seen Won't You Be My Neighbor, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And just let me know if you've seen the show or not. I know I haven't, but I want to hear your thoughts, any fond memories you might have of the show. And don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and catch you guys later.